And it might be worth $1, it might be worth $1 million. You don't know. It just depends on how much somebody's willing to pay for it. But it's one of a kind. NFT. Okay? It is a non-fungible token. What is a non-fungible token? Okay, the difference between fungible and non-fungible. Basically, fungible is something that can be exchanged for something exactly the same with same value, right? Think of the US dollar, right? They're not one of a kind. This dollar could be from 1999, and this dollar could be from 2019. This one could be all tore up and dirty. This one could be brand new, but they have the same value. Okay, they have the same value, right? Because they're dollars, right? They have the same value. You can just exchange one for the other. Like if I go to the store and buy something, this dollar has the same value as this dollar, regardless of condition, right? Because it's not one of a kind. It's not a specific thing. It is literally a one-to-one. Okay, I can take this dollar and I can switch it over for another. I can use it as an asset or as a commodity, right? I can go to the store and I can buy a Four Loko, right? For 6 of these or 6 of these. Doesn't really matter, right? It's more along the lines of it's a perfect exchange, right? Non-fungible means it's unique, right? It's one of a kind. It doesn't have it can't be, exchanged for exactly the same thing because there is no other like it. Think of it as a painting, right? A one of a kind painting. So the Mona Lisa, okay? The Mona Lisa is a one-of-a-kind painting, right? You can't exchange it for another Mona Lisa because there's not another Mona Lisa. So it has a value, a unique value, okay? It has a unique value. It is a one-of-a-kind painting. It's non-fungible. You can't just replace it or exchange it or give it or put a value exactly the same because there is no other one. If you want to think about it in a video game, think about a one-of-a-kind skin, right? Think about a CSGO knife, right? Like let's say there's a CSGO knife, okay? And there is only one of them, and it's digital, right? It's a digital knife. There's only one of these in the world, okay? This is a non-fungible token because it is a single knife that there are no others like it, and you can't just exchange it one for one, right? Because the value of a different knife is different than the value of this knife. This knife goes up and down differently than another one. There's not an exact, exchange. So how does this become a non-fungible token? So basically, if you have this knife, right, and you want to sell it to somebody, you have to be able to sell it to somebody through, by giving it to them, but there has to be a way to protect that this doesn't get copied, right? So that's where the blockchain comes in. So basically, what happens is this gets a specific token, a specific code that gets stored on the blockchain so that when it's purchased or exchanged, the person who's purchasing or exchanging it gets that specific code on the blockchain for that specific item, okay? So that's kind of how NFTs are. It's a non-fungible token. It's a token. It's a code, right? That gives you access, okay, to a specific item, a one-of-a-kind item. Now, I'll give you another example. Stocky, what if it's the same item? How can it be different? Well, imagine you have a Pokemon card, right? And you have a whatever the fuck, Charizard or whatever, right? And you have 2 of them. Even though they're not the same because they might have a different grade on them, right? This might have a 10.0 and this might have a 9.9, right? They can be different. So these can be converted. Now, non-fungible tokens can be real world stuff or they can be digital stuff. So it's much different. A real world non-fungible would be a house, right? Because your specific house, no matter what, is not exactly the same as your neighbor's house. Even if the value is the same, they're not the same. So that is a non-fungible item. All right. So that's what a non-fungible token is. A non-fungible token is basically a one-of-a-kind item, a specific item that is transferred digitally via the blockchain with a specific code. It can't be duplicated. It can't be replicated. It's a specific one. And that's why the value is there. However, there is downside because the value is based on supply and demand, right? Like a painting, you know, is only worth as much as someone's willing to pay for it. You might have a painting here and it might be worth $1, it might be worth $1 million. You don't know. It just depends on how much somebody's willing to pay for it, but it's one of a kind. Okay? So that is kind of how you look at a non-fungible token. Okay? It is a specific item that is one of a kind, that is, you know, has a digital code that's stored via the blockchain to protect it from being, you know, copied, or to make sure to protect the buyer and seller in order to, you know, make sure that they get the item that they're paying for. Okay? So that is the very basic, explains like I'm five, of what an NFT is, okay? It's a non-fungible token. It's a token. It is a code. It is a way of buying a specific item, whether it is a real world or a digital item. Now, there is much more in the deep diving of this, but that is the basic TLDR of it, okay? How would you create demand for it? Hype? I mean, think about it. If you hype up I'll give you an example. A merch drop, right? How do you sell merch? You create whether you want to call it false or true, demand for something, right? So you create a shirt. And there's nothing special about the shirt. It's just a shirt. But you tease at it. And you say, we got this awesome shirt dropping in 2 weeks. Awesome shirt. Okay, another shirt. Then you say, it's a one-of-a-kind shirt. There's only 100 of them. And now people are like, wait a second. Special merch, there's only 100, but there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people here. Shit. I'm really curious now. I wonder what it looks like. And then you drop a hype video where you kind of reveal some of it. And you're like, oh shit, this looks badass. Fuck, I need to get it. Then you get the hype going, and then you drop it, then you sell out the first 100, right? Because people wanted to be the first to get something. People always want to be the first to get something. They want the newest thing, or they want to say that they have something no one else has. So now you sell out of those first 100. So now all the people who didn't want to get it or didn't really care or were kind of like on the fence about it, now they feel like they missed out on an opportunity. Like, oh shit, there was demand for it. It must be really good. Oh my God, they already sold out. Fuck, I better make sure I pre-order the next one. So then you drop another limited. You see what I'm saying? You can create a demand for something if you are good at marketing and good at hyping things up. I mean, you could have NFTs in anything. I mean, you could have OnlyFans as an NFT. A specific video made for somebody through OnlyFans is technically a type of NFT. Right? So, Xorce, you're asking me about NFTs. I think NFTs are the next bubble. I've already explained what NFTs are. My thing about NFTs is that it's a quick, short-term way of making money, because eventually it's going to become overdone and somebody's going to figure out how to fucking manipulate this and figure out how to manipulate it. Not only manipulate it, but make copies on the blockchain. I really do. I think that this is going to be awesome for now because listen, now the reason that it's really hyped up right now is because a lot of people are trying to use this as a way of trading things, right? Like you can get a one-of-a-kind item, and the way that it's yours is that it is made into there is a token, a code that is made, a specific code that is made and put on the blockchain, right? And then you now own it, okay? And no one else can own it. So is a one-of-a-kind item. However, what's going to happen is, number one, people are going to overdo it, right? And make it less valuable. And number two, eventually, someone's going to be able to find a way to copy these, okay? Now, the reason that I say that is right now, for example, Logan Paul, right, is selling for tens of thousands of dollars clips from Pokemon card openings. So now he's selling a moment that you get to buy, and you're the only one who gets to buy it, and it's going for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Okay? But what's the problem there? The problem is that this is a clip from a fucking YouTube video. Yeah, sure, somebody can go out there and clip it themselves, and it's the exact same thing, but it's not the original. So it's not worth the same, right? Right? So technically, this is a one-of-a-kind item because it's from the original video sent by Logan Paul. No one else can have that. People can make copies, but this is the one-of-a-kind. At what point do people say, nah, fam, that's not it? So a lot of what's being done is overdone right now. For example, what's that? I forgot the name of the band. There's a band who's releasing their album as an NFT right now. But Kings of Leon, there you go. They're releasing their album as an NFT right now, but they're also going to release it down the road. But you get to have this original one-of-a-kind thing sent to you that no one else will. The problem is once the actual, you pay a shitload of money for this NFT now, but when the actual album is released, who's going to want to buy your NFT from you? NFTs, an item is only as valuable as what somebody's willing to pay for it. So you're paying all this money for the NFT now, but when the actual album's released down the road, it's not worth shit if nobody else wants to buy it from you. Okay? Now, are there some things that are NFTs that have a lot of value to them? Absolutely. I mean, I could fucking, I could literally take my Cowboy Trader stupid drawing, right? And take a screenshot of it and sell it as an NFT. I could. Nobody'd buy it. But then the problem is that the value is that it's one of a kind, but people can make copies of it and send it out. And even if people know it's not the same as the original, it's not as worth as much because it's copyable. Now, these have blockchains, right? They have tokens and codes on a blockchain that keeps them as the original, right? Like no one else can duplicate it because you have the original code, right? Could that be manipulated down the road? Who knows? Now, the reason that I think the biggest winner from NFTs right now is Ethereum, because they're using Ethereum's blockchain right now. I mean, it's just part of it. I mean, obviously crypto itself is getting kind of fucked up, but regardless, so that's where NFTs, okay, for me, NFTs are a buy the rumor, sell the new kind of thing. Could NFTs revolutionize memes? I mean, they could, but I think NFTs is just a short-term hype right now. I really do. I really, really do. Blockchain is impossible to duplicate. I'm not talking about the blockchain. I'm talking about people finding ways of just mass producing the same thing, and tweaking the code. And so here's the thing. If you have an NFT and it has a specific code, okay, and you just make a duplicate copy of the same NFT with another code, technically that's one of a kind too. Technically.